Good morning. If you come to the witness stand, please. Before you have a seat, we're going to swear you in. Okay, please raise your right hand, respond to the clerk.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Please have a seat. Ms. Katherine, could you retrieve these other items, or are you going to?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I just need you to speak loud and clear into that microphone, okay?
Ma'am, please introduce yourself and spell your name.
Good morning. Jessica Rodriguez, Jessica Rodriguez.
Where do you live, Ms. Rodriguez?
Currently Newport Richie.
All right. And are you employed?
Yes.
How are you employed?
I'm a nail technician
How long have you been working as a nail tech?
since I was 15.
All right. And have you ever been convicted of a felony?
Yes, I have.
How many?
3 to my knowledge.
All right. Do you know the defendant in this case, Katherine Magbanua?
Yes, I do.
How do you know her?
She was Tuto's wife,
Alright.
a friend,
Who's Tuto?
Garcia.
Sigfrido Garcia?
Yes,
All right. And you knew her as his wife?
correct.
Do you know whether they were legally married?
Not to my knowledge.
Meaning they were not, or you just don't know?
I don't know.
Okay, but they were always together as
Correct.
husband and wife, or lived together as husband and wife?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and that was during the time that you were friends with them?
Correct.
When did you become friends with them?
Basically the whole relationship that I have with Rivera, later on, once I got pregnant, I started being around more.
All right, how do you know Rivera?
He's the father of my daughter.
All right, that's Luis Rivera?
Correct.
Okay, and so you said around the time that you became pregnant, what year was that?
2013.
All right, that's when you became good friends with Katherine
More with
Magbanua?
her being around, yes.
All right, and what about Sigfrido Garcia? Was it the same with him?
No, I've known him since as long as I've known Rivera.
How long is that?
About 12 years.
All right, so you've been friends with Garcia much longer than Katherine Magbanua?
Correct.
Okay. Did you know her longer than that before you?
No,
Okay, so you just became friends with her in 2013.
correct.
Okay. Were you close friends around the time that you were pregnant in 2013?
To my knowledge, I thought I was, yes.
All right. And did you remain friendly with her up until, I guess, kind of 2015, 2016?
Correct,
You just fell
yes.
out a little bit?
Yes.
All right. And what was the falling out about?
Well, I seen in the news what happened with Garcia with his arrest, and wherever Rivera was, Garcia was always. So with everything going on, I called to find out, like, for her to let me know if she knew anything. I thought it had something to do with the federal case from Rivera prior, and never answered. Said she'd call me back, never called me back. Then I get a response, a call back from.
All right. Don't tell us what
Okay.
the response is, but basically associated with you being in the dark on this case.
Correct.
Is how y'all fell out.
Correct.
Okay. And I want to ask you a little bit more about Mr. Rivera. Does he have a nickname?
Yes.
What does he go by?
Tato.
All right. And I want to ask you specifically about an incident that occurred, and I know you don't know the exact date, but was there a time when you were living with Mr. Rivera in Miami at 16th Ave and 135th Street?
Yes.
All right. And was there a time, well, let me ask you a little bit about that place. Is that like can you describe what kind of place that was? What kind of residence?
It's an apartment building. Like
All right.
your
Would
normal
you
one.
describe it as a lavish apartment building?
No.
When you were living with Mr. Rivera as a family, did you have a lot of money?
No.
Were you working as a nail tech at that
Yes,
time?
I always worked.
All right. And was he employed with Coastal Masonry during the time
Yes,
you were
correct.
together? Yes. Let me get my question out first. And then
Sorry.
It's okay.
Nerves.
All right. So you were both working. Was money a problem or not a problem?
Yes, it was a problem.
Okay. Because we've heard some information about Mr. Rivera dealing drugs, and I wondered if it was a situation where you were, living in this palace as drug lords with servants and all that kind of thing. Was it like that?
No.
Okay. Did Mr. Rivera keep his money in the bank?
No.
Okay, what about his, did he have a bank account at all?
Yes, he did.
All right, what was the purpose of the bank account?
For his direct deposits from his job.
Okay, so he did keep at least the paycheck in the bank for
Correct.
some period of time.
Yes.
Did Mr. Rivera have any connection to Tallahassee that you know of before this
No.
case? How would you describe the relationship between Luis Rivera and Sigfrido Garcia?
Brothers, inseparable.
All right. What about the relationship between Sigfrido Garcia and Katherine Magbanua?
Toxic. They would on and off a lot.
All right. And do you know who Charlie Adelson is?
Now, yes.
Okay. What about back at the time of this case, the events we're here about? Did you know his name at that time?
No, I didn't know him by his name.
Did you know that Katherine Magbanua was seeing a dentist?
Yes.
Were you familiar with Sigfrido Garcia's feelings about her seeing the dentist?
Yes.
How did he feel about it?
He didn't like it, but they were separated and he was in a different relationship.
Who was he in a relationship with?
With Shrimp.
All right. And is that, do you know her real name?
No, I don't.
Okay. If you know, how did Katherine Magbanua feel about Garcia's relationship with Shrimp?
Oh, she hated it.
Okay, so they had moved on, but they were both mad about who the other one was dating.
Correct.
All right. Were you ever told by Luis Rivera or anyone else back around the time of these events that Luis Rivera was hired to be involved in a murder?
No.
So he did not confide that information in you?
No.
Are you surprised that he didn't tell you that he was hired to do a murder? You are?
I am surprised.
All right. And afterwards, did he ever tell you any details about the murder?
No.
When was your youngest child born?
June of 2014.
All right. And do you remember a short time after her birth when Rivera told you he was going out of town?
Yes.
Did he tell you he was coming to Tallahassee?
No.
Where did he say he was going?
That he was just going out of town to get drugs and that's it.
Did he tell you he was going up north?
No.
All right. Did he tell you he was going to do a murder?
No.
Did he tell you who he was going with?
With Tuto.
And that's Sigfrido Garcia?
Correct.
Do you know what car they took on that trip?
No. Not to my knowledge, not that I remember.
Do you know how long they were gone?
A couple of days, because I just had my daughter.
All right. And so that would be a couple days shortly after you had your daughter, which was June 27th of 14. Is that
Correct, yes.
All right. And they actually took 2 trips to Tallahassee, as we've learned. Were you aware that there were 2 trips?
No.
You only knew about the 1 trip?
Correct.
Did you ever see him in possession of a green Prius?
Yes.
Okay. And was that around the time of that trip?
I don't remember.
Okay. After your child was born, so similar to the time frame I'm talking about, I'm trying to narrow it down to the time that he took that trip. After that occurred, was there a time when someone brought a package to Luis Rivera at your home?
Yes.
Who brought the package?
Tuto came knocking on the door. He brought the package.
All right. And was there anybody else present when Tuto brought the package?
Yes. Katy.
Who else? Katy?
Yes.
Is
Yes,
that Katherine Magbanua?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see that person in the courtroom today
I
that
do.
came to bring the package? Who is that? Can you just point and describe what she's
sure.
wearing?
She's over there with a white shirt, glasses, and a black vest.
Okay, and we've got 2 of those.
Oh.
Okay. The one in between 2
The
lawyers?
one in between the 2 lawyers.
All right, thank
Judge, I have
you.
no objection. Let the record reflect that she has identified Ms. Magbanua.
Yes.
All right, and, okay, so this is, you can say this was in the summer of 2014 within, can we say, a month of your youngest child's birth?
Correct.
Okay. And when this package was delivered, did both Tuto, Sigfrido Garcia, and Katherine Magbanua, the defendant, did both of them come into your residence?
No.
Okay, tell us about that.
So Tuto knocked on the door. I opened it. He came in, he said he had a package for T, for Tato. He went to the room to drop it. I said, who you with? He said, Katy. I went outside, we had like a little patio hallway, and I screamed over, and I'm like, you're not gonna come and see your niece? Like, why are you in the car? And then she got up, and then she came in.
So she did come in and see the baby?
Correct.
All right, and at some point, did you call Luis Rivera to tell him they were there?
Yes.
All right, and do you remember what phone number you called him from?
No, I have so many numbers back then.
Have you had quite a few phone numbers?
Yes.
Okay. I want to ask you about a specific phone number, 305-896-3720. Was that one of the phone numbers that you have used before?
Yes.
All right, and are you refreshing your recollection with something?
Yes, my notes, yes.
All right, so you made some notes about some prior phone numbers you had?
Correct.
All right, ma'am, so at this point, I don't want you to look at any of those notes, okay? Just see if you can recall from your memory, and if not, then just let counsel know, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Ma'am, law enforcement had that phone number associated with an Anthony Ortiz. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Is Mr. Ortiz, is he dead as we sit here today?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know when he died?
A couple years ago, that's all I know.
All right, and do you know why your phone number was also associated with Anthony Ortiz in a law enforcement database?
Have no idea.
Okay, so you didn't share a phone with Anthony Ortiz?
No.
Okay. Who was Anthony Ortiz to Luis Rivera?
A friend?
Okay. Would you describe their relationship as Ortiz being kind of like a do-boy to Luis Rivera?
Yes.
All right, but that phone number ending in 3720 was your phone number at the time of these events that we're just talking about?
Correct.
All right, and that phone number is in Katherine Magbanua's phone as Jessica Flocka. Do you
Objection,
go by?
speculation.
If she can ask the question, overruled.
Do you go by Jessica Flocka?
Yes.
What is Flocka?
It means slim.
Okay, is that a nickname?
When I was younger, yes.
All right, did Mr. Rivera arrive to get this package?
Yes.
All right, and did you look inside the package?
No.
Can you
Didn't have time.
describe the package for the jury?
It was a bag, like a plastic bag. I don't know what it was inside. It kind of looked like a brick, like drugs, you know, when they wrap up like cocaine and stuff like that. And that's what it, yeah.
Okay, but it was wrapped up in something outside, so you couldn't
Yeah,
see
and
what
the
was
inside
in
it was wrapped. It was in a plastic bag, but the inside was wrapped with like a paper, like a something brown, maybe like a paper bag.
All right, and during the time that Katherine Magbanua was coming up to see the baby, did she ever acknowledge the package or say anything about the package?
Yes.
What did she say about the package?
Basically did, you know, to my knowledge, if I remember correctly, did you give him the package, but Tato wasn't there.
Okay, so he hadn't arrived yet when she
Correct.
made this statement. Okay. And so who is she asking, did you give him the package?
Tuto.
All right. And did she seem like, what was her demeanor like? How was she acting?
She was fidgety,
Okay.
like in
was
a rush.
Okay, what do you mean by in a rush? Did she say anything to indicate she was in a rush?
No.
Okay. But she just was acting like, what, like she was ready to get out of there?
Yeah.
All right, and just to clarify, she specifically asked Garcia something to the effect of, did you give him the
Correct.
package? All right, at this time, I know you said they've been on and off all the time, but at this time that the package was delivered, was it weird that Katherine Magbanua and Sigfrido Garcia were together?
Not to my recollection.
Okay, so they were together at that time, to your knowledge?
Correct.
Okay. And what about the whole, they got back together at the Pacquiao fight? Was that something that occurred later?
Yes.
Okay, so your recollection is that they were together at the time of the package delivery, and then what, off again before the fight?
Yes, they were very on and off.
Okay, and what about the dentist? Was he in or out at the time of the package drop?
I don't remember. I think at that moment, with the address that I lived in, I didn't know about him until the following address after that.
Okay, so you're not sure you even knew about the dentist
Correct.
at this point. All right, and what about Shrimp? Was she in the picture at this point, to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, I don't remember.
Okay, so could there have been some overlap between Shrimp and Katy? Also some overlap between Garcia and the dentist?
There could be, yes.
So it was all sort of, I mean, you don't have the dates of when they were together and not
Correct.
together. Okay. Are you able to tell the jury that there was a reconciliation that occurred between Magbanua and Garcia at the Pacquiao fight on May 2nd, 2015?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know if they stayed together from that time up until the arrest in this case?
I believe so.
Was this the only time that anyone brought a package to your home like this, or was that something that occurred all the time?
No, it was the first time.
And when you are thinking about the relationship between Katherine Magbanua and Sigfrido Garcia, does it surprise you that he would keep things from her? Would he keep things from her like crimes he would be involved in?
I wouldn't know. I didn't, from the outside, my relationship with them, they were very on and off. So what they did, like behind, how he acted with her behind closed doors, I don't really know if he would keep anything or not.
Okay. Do you remember giving a deposition back on February 15th, 2019?
Yes.
And I'm referencing page 148, lines 19 through 23. Did you previously say Katy knew everything that...
Improper impeachment.
Overruled.
Did you previously say Katy knew everything that Tudo did when it came to bad stuff, everything?
I do remember.
Okay. And is that a true statement?
When it comes to that, yes.
All right. No further questions.
Cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor.